Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Avowed with me, BringItDon.
Kai, have you ever met a marine godlike? One of Andra's children?
Ngati's children, as they're called in Deadline. I've heard stories, but never met one. They're rare everywhere, but revered among the Wana.
I've always wanted to study one up close, but they're a slippery bunch.
Why are you so interested?
Purely academic reasons.
I might know a particularly charming one, if you need an introduction, dearie.
Maybe I'll take you up on that. Later, of course. And let's keep it between us.
Too late. We heard everything.
Alright, so I am going to elect to bring Yatsli, because we haven't done her companion quest yet, and I'm assuming it's going to be in the garden area. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Yatsli. In fact, I think Kai and Marius are my favorite companions. And I do think that... oh, it's pretty sizable. I do think that Giatta is probably the most powerful companion, utility-wise. It's really dark in this corner.
Wonder if Yatsli brought her ladder.
Too like that recurring joke.
Well, that's convenient.
Darn it. Is he snoring or purring? Now I feel bad. Yeah, I'll leave you guys alone. I don't need eggplants anyway.
Stand back.
Nightfolk Orison 1. Life is a prayer. God function defines the good prayer, and we pray it with our hearty holy genocide. Now says God function, destroy the insisted one, or insisted one. Puncture the cyst of their secessionist Adra. Smother their children, for they are without soul. Slaughter their livestock, for they are without soul. Turn them out from their dwellings, and make a census of them to pray to God function, so that God will know the extirpation of the insisted one is complete. Of them, Abaddon says, nothing can be made of that which is hoarded, so punish the hoarder. Of them, Bareth says, they are not upon the wheel, they do not live nor die. They are as inert as stone. Of them, Aerthus says, there is no hope for them, as they are enthralled by the hopeless, so deliver hope unto them. Of them, Galawain says, hunt them down even to the last child, as the predator hunts even unto the prey nest. Of them Helia says, among them neither chick nor child is born with a soul, so there is no birth among them. Go make a bloody birth of them. Of them Magrin says, make war on them. Of them Andra says, strike away all memory, as a tide strikes a shape from the sand. Of them Ramergand howls. Of them Skyn says, make an effigy of them. Disfigure them until their effacement is complete. Of them Weil says, all the strangeness of the alien among them shall be mine. There is no stranger thing in the world, and I shall have it for my own. Of them Woedica says, make an oath of their utter annihilation. This is God function, which is the topmost camera roll of our mind. It seems like most of the gods wanted the annihilation of Sapad, although Anthus's could be interpreted differently. He did say deliver hope unto them. Letter from Tane. Dear Lengrath, I made it to the garden, somehow. The last thing I remember is getting lost, stumbling through the woods, past a volcano. Now here I am. Then again, maybe it was all a dream. Maybe this is a dream too. What else is new? The plants are a nice touch, but a bit too humanoid. They fit right in at the halls obscured. A little greenery to brighten up the enclosures. Anyway, I believe this marks the end of my sightseeing tour of the Living Lands. Not a moment too soon. I miss the comforts of home. Now, how do I leave? Oh well, I'll figure something out. I always do. Wink. Your friend, Tay the Archmage, author of Tane's Chaotic Orb. P.S. I'm leaving this here for you, or a future version of you, to find someday. Take care. See you at the next meeting of the Circle. I'll save you a seat next to me at the big table.
Tane was here. Oh, I can't believe we missed him.
Who's ready for more?
It attains if you have your luck maxed out. But Tane is the only Archmage that doesn't really come across as a jerk. The rest of them are all very seated. Ooh, hello there.
I think this is the only way down. After you.
Let's go up first.
Ready, aim.
Magfolk. Orison 2. Life is a prayer. Of the insisted ones, we made a holy slaughter. Young we smothered with our hands. Of the oldest we made fires. We rendered them down into fuel to clear the insisted growth. From some we removed the hands, from others the feet, from others the features. All of which we gathered in heaps which drew the insisted wildlife to feed. And to these heaps we set poison. Of their severed heads we made pyramids, 10 heads to a side, and the count of heads in each pyramid was 385. Of these pyramids there were counted 7,707. We spared those who could run with vigor, so that they would lead us to other dwellings of the insisted. We made it known that mercy could be purchased by tribute, so that the insisted would gather together their livestock, their wine, and wealth to present to us. The first 10 of these tributes we accepted, and gave mercy. Then after the 11th tribute, we began to kill all those assembled. In this way we made them gather themselves to be taken census and killed. In this way we approached God through prayer. That sounds familiar. Some historical parallels to this, genocide.
Don't look down.
Which is extremely unfortunate. I think, yeah, he wants to talk.
Envoy, what do you need? Thanks for talking. I doubt my soul is worth much to an animancer.
Why would you say that about yourself?
It's just that I'm not what I'd call strong-willed. I'm tense all the time, and just not easy to be around sometimes.
Self-knowledge and inner conflict are signs of a powerful soul. Make no mistake, you have a good one.
Thank you. I needed that.
Alright, can we talk?
Envoy, what do you need?
I need you to talk to me.
Until next time.
Alright.
You telling me the Archmage Consulhot is just a floating skull?
Oh, he does find himself between bodies from time to time, but not usually.
That must be terribly inconvenient, especially for whomever has to carry him around.
He's pretty
I
useful.
heard a rumor he loves candied nuts. How does that work for a floating skull?
Right, I refuse to even entertain the idea of a skull floating around casting spells and eating nuts.
Then it's agreed. If we come across a floating skull, we just keep walking.
This is the first game he doesn't appear as a recurring character. Yet. We're not quite done, so.
A breath held. Trepidation. You are close, yet distant still.
I'm close enough to meet you. Why don't you wait until I'm awake?
The moon has many faces. Different songs for different days. We know your light. We seek what swims inside you as you wane. We wonder.
Actually, Sapadal, I've got a question for you.
We did not foresee this.
I indulge your curiosity. You can indulge mine.
An equal trade. We accept.
What would you do if you weren't imprisoned?
The sky is green. The fish breathes air. We can no longer imagine.
If you can't imagine it, then why do you want it so badly?
No, we must recall, plumb the depths of our memory. We would run, roll with the tide, sink our fingers into new earth. Whisper in the fields, lift the hills gently in our hands.
And what would you do? Sorry, what would you do if people wronged you?
We must remember. Yes, new blooms from pruned growth. Vengeance denied, squandered. This cannot be.
That doesn't sound very peaceful.
We spoke of growth.
No, you definitely said something just now.
We speak of freedom when the hand still clasps around our throat. Wake now. Find us.
Yeah. Definitely one of those morally gray choices. That's weird. Oh, darn it, I had it. And gravity took it away. Ooh. Wildwalker armor, which looks pretty cool. Grants Natural Catalyst. Receiving an elemental status applies that status to all nearby targets. And Wild Strike. Plus 20% fire, frost, and shock accumulation. Legends abound of a powerful druid and watcher known only as the Wild Walker. She's said to have possessed a singular mastery of the art of spirit shifting, able to assume not just one beastly form, but many. According to legend, she one day found herself wandering the strange, impossible landscape of the Beyond. How long the Wild Walker roamed this dreamlike plane is unknown, but upon her return she was forever changed. Their spirit shifts were thereafter suffused with a maelstrom of elemental power, though had warped, monstrous appearances. This armor still holds a measure of the elemental might that the Wild Walker could call upon, empowering the wearer's own attacks and punishing enemies that turned the elements against them. found a door. Where is the switch at? Is it behind all this rubble?
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I
Yeah.
going mad?
No, this is what I've... Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what you're seeing. Let me just grab this loot real quick. Unusual book. This book is penned with dark tree sap instead of ink. Every stroke done with a slow, meticulous hand. Most of the pages contain sketches of the garden, unfamiliar animals, and even music in some ancient notation. Only the final page contains legible writing. Forgive us. Yeah, it's a little creepy.
What is the meaning of this? It can't be real. This is an illusion. A joke. Tell me we're both seeing the same thing.
What do you see?
The past coming back to haunt me. Why am I cursed to see this again? Why does the memory follow me wherever I go?
I think the garden is misleading us, playing with our senses.
Wanna know what I think? I think someone's laughing at me. Whoever is responsible, I'm tired of the bullshit. Step forward and answer for yourself, coward!
Godlike of Sapadal, long have we awaited you.
Finally, you've come home.
This is almost as bad as Ringram's creepy sculptures.
Oh my gods. They're alive?
You hear them too.
I can hear them, but not with my ears. It feels like someone hitting my soul with a tuning fork.
A wave to the plant. Greetings.
What do you think you're doing?
Giatta Castell, welcome.
Wait, you know me? How do you know me?
For centuries, our whispers filled the silence. Then we heard your mother's call.
My mother? You heard her?
She reached out to us, using the tool you now carry.
But that would have been years ago. The first time she used the phantasmal focus. The only time she used it.
We heard, and Sapadal answered, saying in a great voice, "We are here. You have found us."
But when Sapadal speaks, the living lands trembles. The voice of a god can be a terrible thing.
You're saying Sapadal was responsible for the lab accident.
No, this can't be. What exactly happened to my parents? Tell me, please. I need to know.
Sapadal wanted to be heard, and in so doing, twisted your family in body and soul, broke them into a more suitable shape.
Sapadal does not know the limits of their strength. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made? Do you have any idea what my life has been since your little mistake?
After the incident, your parents were like us, and we took pity, so we helped them move on, as they wanted.
In the end, they thought only of you, their pride, and their love.
That's it. That's really it. The answer I've been searching for all these years. Sapadal destroyed my family.
I mean, they were messing with powerful forces. I mean, they should understand that there's risk associated with that. You think they're telling the truth?
I know they are. My mother and father would not have wanted this. A good animancer embraces death. And they were the best.
What are these things?
We are companions, toys, diversions. Sapodal fashioned us out of dreams and memories.
I can't believe it never occurred to me. They're animats. Ancient vessels held together with duty and loyalty. Their design is unusual, organic, much like the garden itself. Sapodal's work. All this time, your god has been making imaginary friends, drawing pictures on the walls of their cell. It's almost too sad to imagine.
It's cool that they're organic. So all the animats you see in the previous games are all kind of, well, they're artifice. Like, they're created usually out of, like, stone or metal. You could kind of compare that to Sapodal being the only natural god in the setting. So her animats are organic, where all the other gods are artificial, and so their animats are also artificial. I'm so sorry, Giatta. I had no idea about any of this.
I don't hold you responsible. I don't even know if I hold Sapodal responsible. Your god has the intelligence of a scatterbrained goat, but that isn't their fault. It's simply how they came into being. One final question, spirits. What is this? Why are you trying to ruin my life again? Is this your way of haunting me? What is it you want?
That's 4 questions.
We want to apologize on Sapodal's behalf, and for the part we played in your sorrow.
They want to apologize. I came to the garden for answers, not to offer forgiveness.
They deserve forgiveness. What happened to your parents was a mistake.
Was it a mistake? Because no matter where we go, the gods can't stop themselves from hurting us. Our lives are a game to them. Damn it. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Sapodal has been trapped here for millennia. Alone. Confused. Screaming into the void for anyone who will listen. When they heard the voice of a stranger, they overreacted. How can I hold that against you? Apology accepted.
Thank you, Giatta. And thank you, Godlike, for bringing her all this way.
The time has come for you to find your patron, as you were meant to.
Should I expect to find more of these apparitions in the garden?
A garden is whatever you plant in it.
Sapodal wishes to be understood, as all mortals do. Seen, as all mortals are. What you see is the truth, glimpsed through their eyes, and they wish to share it.
What will happen to you?
Now that you have returned to the garden, Sapodal has everything they need. We will fade, as all things fade.
I'm sorry.
Don't be. Nurtured or neglected, every garden dies in time. We will return to the soil from which we emerged. In time, you will do the same.
Rest well.
Our purpose draws to a close. A long rest is assured. May the living lands receive you with open arms. Farewell.
Goodbye. We need to talk about this, but not here.
Yeah.
Give her space, dearie. Giatta will speak more when she's ready.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to talk here either. Alright. Find the darn switch. Oh, it's up here. Charm of Bones. Grants ancient brittle bones. Summon a trio of skeletons to fight with you. Since it is comprised of various small bones affixed to a cord of sinew, this macabre necklace thinks of the grave. The noise created by the bones clicking together sounds like a gruesome chime, causing your hair to stand on end. This particular charm was lovingly crafted by a self-serving, hedonistic death godlike chanter. It's quite the, pedigree. Causing your hair to stand on end. Oh wait, no, I already read that. Sorry, chanter, who used his powers of beckoning to the dead to unusual ends. As a master musician, he never found other living players to be at his level of skill, and so instead taught his undead minions how to play just as he did. Thus did he become the ringleader of his own vile marching band. I remember, I can envision it. You used to see all the skeletons, like, with, like, the flutes and stuff. And various artwork. I assume that's a reference to that. Well, I talked to Giatta since the camp is right here. Maybe we'll try Marius again as well.
All this time, I thought my parents died in a freak accident. An experiment gone awry. A mistake. And in a way, they did. But it wasn't their mistake. It was Sappadal's.
Does knowing that help?
That's what I keep asking myself. This whole experience has me considering my family's work in a different light. Look at what my mother accomplished. Armed with her research and her wits, she found a god. When you speak to a god, it's nothing. Barely a reflex. But for the rest of us, it's unimaginable. No animancer can live up to that. Certainly not me. I thought their legacy was a curse, and I could only break it by completing their work. I was wrong.
Sounds like you admire them.
As an animancer, I do admire them. I really do. As their daughter, it's complicated. One thing is certain. When it comes to animancy, I need to unlearn some of my old assumptions. I wanted to tame the spirit of the living lands. Now, there's so much about it I don't understand. And it's creepy, but wonderful.
Do you still use animancy to help the living lands?
Perhaps, as long as no one gets in my way. I believe the power flowing out of the garden drove this island mad. That has to end. Through animancy, we could help the living lands recover. It would take a lifetime, maybe more, but that's a small price to pay. Then again, who am I to interfere with an ecosystem that I barely understand? On the other hand, half the fun of animancy is stirring the pot and getting into trouble. I think I know what I want, but there are too many variables to consider. What do you think?
I mean, doesn't mean she has to abandon it altogether. Yeah. I trust you to make the right choice for yourself.
Of course you trust me. I'm brilliant. But we've been together long enough that I value your opinion.
You owe it to yourself to continue your research and grow as an animancer.
I have a lot of catching up to do, and plenty of room to grow. But I think you're right. So be it. Starting today, I don't have to live up to anyone's example. Animancy can be whatever I make of it.
Whatever you do, I'm sure it will be ambitious and unexpected.
Knowing me, maybe a little too ambitious and unexpected. Now I just have to decide which field of research to pursue. But no need to bore you with the details. I've only got one lifetime as Giatta Castel, so I'd better make it count. Hey, You helped me through a very difficult time. I just wanted to say thank you.
If anyone's gonna lead the way for animancy, I can't think of a better fit than you.
Envoy, what do you need?
I guess nothing.
You too.
I guess I need nothing.
I don't plan on getting much sleep. Might as well stay up and talk.
Is the garden everything you expected?
I don't know what I expected. Everything here feels wrong. As if we're standing in the eye of a storm. Can you feel it? Essences radiating from the very stones on which we walk. This is a place of power, forgotten by time. We are insignificant by comparison. Does that answer your question?
I think so.
Good, because I'm not sure any of that made sense. One word of advice. Trust nothing you see or hear. For all we know, this is happening in your head. Or better yet, in mine. Until next time.
Envoy, pinch me. I must be dreaming. I've long imagined what the garden could look like, but... even all the depictions I've seen in all the ruins, they didn't do it justice. And that's not even counting all the little surprises we've gotten. And you! You're on the way to meet your god. Years of being an unclaimed godlike. And now, it feels like a typhoon of information has hit us. I've yet to catch my breath. There are even floating sky islands. How are you staying so calm?
I'm just trying to get through this, Yatsley.
You could be a bit more excited. I just want to focus on memorizing everything I can. The architecture is obviously in pristine condition, let alone... Just be sure to remember everything we see. I'll want to pick your brain later.
I'm glad to see the garden is living up to your expectations.
This place is... It's more than I could have ever dreamed. I know we have to find your god and figure out what to do with them, but... Oh, I almost feel like I could stay here forever.
What about Quilici?
Well, perhaps Quilici and I could move in here. Surely, he'd see the possibilities. Still, I just... Oh, it's breathtaking here. And think how much I could learn here. Pockets of time in the lives of the Akita are here, and... Oh, but we've not even gotten to the end yet. We haven't seen everything. Let's get moving.
So those green people in the garden, those weren't your parents?
No. They were Sapadal's dreams given life. Ancient sentinels bound by loyalty.
And they were plants because...
Because that's all Sapadal knew how to make. A smithy smiths. A baker bakes. A gardener gardens.
Right, I understand.
It's all right if you don't.
Good, because I really don't.
If we make it out of this place, we'll have stories to tell. Wonder if anyone will believe them.
How do I prepare for what's ahead?
I barely plan further than the next meal, and you're asking me?
Maybe that's the kind of advice I need.
I don't know, Envoy. I just try to take each day and each battle as it comes. And you can see where that's gotten me. But I think it's possible to be too prepared.
You're saying I should follow my gut.
That's a better way of putting it. You know what all of us think by now. Ultimately, you're the one who has to decide what to do with Sapadal and where your loyalties lie. My advice? Get a good night's rest, and when the moment comes, follow your instincts.
That helps. Thanks.
Don't forget that every soul in the living lands hangs in the balance. But look at it this way. Whatever you choose, you'll end the Dream Scourge, and you'll give the Living Lands a future. And I'd wager that's better than where we are now. Rest while you can. We're almost at the end of this.
Alright, well I guess I'm going to call it here, and next time we will go through this door. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.